Stop any wage garnishments. Stop harassing collection calls. Even eliminate.
All right, stand by with the open, guys.
For your student loans, or if you're past due and you need help, you must call right now. We will restructure your loan or your money back, and that's a guarantee. So call the Student Loan Hotline right now. 800-949-8707. 800-949-8707. 800-949-8707.
All right, welcome to the show, Fifth Street Soccer, Sports Byline USA, FC Nation Radio Networks. I'm Nick Geber. He is Nick Webster, and we got a great show for you today here on Fifth Street Soccer, not least of which we are going to revisit some of the topics we've been talking about over the last couple of shows, because they don't just go away once we give the final word, Nick. People still want to talk about it, and clearly they're not listening to us.
Yes, they do. But you know what? This is the sport that the world runs on, you know. Let's be honest, Nick. You can put your American football, your baseball, and your basketball, and you can shove it, because football, association football, is the driver of banter. And that's why we're here to satisfy your needs in the banter department.
That's exactly right, Nick. By the way, give us a call in studio if you've got anything to say about the topics we're going to get to today at 800-878-PLAY. 800-878-PLAY. You can also find us on the web at fifthstreetsports.com. We have a very active Facebook page at facebook.com/Fifth Street Sports Talk, where you can also find all the live streams where we do stream this show live as well. And we are also, did I miss one? Oh, yes, Twitter at Fifth Street Sports Talk. Today, Trevor Noah, the comedian, talk show host, general not so funny guy. I don't find him all that funny, but that's just me. Was piping up after the World Cup and congratulated Africa on winning the World Cup. And this caused a great offense to the French ambassador, who in turn has had a bunch back and forth with Trevor Noah. And Mr. Noah really just showing his lack of understanding of French culture and France as a nation, is trying to denigrate their World Cup win. This goes right along with what we've been talking about, folks. Also, we're going to talk about England. Ask the question, are Liverpool good enough to win the title this year? If not, who is? We're going to look at futures both in England, Spain, Italy, and France, as well as the Champions League. We're going to tell you there are some really neat little values out there for you right now. And we're going to talk about these international friendlies, the ICC. I'll tell you what I think about them. Nick Webster will tell you what he thinks about them. But we'd love to hear from you. What do you think about them? 800-878-PLAY. Are you splashing the cash to go see your team play somebody else's team without the big stars in a meaningless friendly for top dollar? Let us know. 800-878-PLAY. 800-878-PLAY. I'm Nick Geber. He is Nick Webster. This is Fifth Street Soccer. And we will be right back after this.
Hey, Dave, you in for golf this weekend?
I can't. I promised I'd find a plumber to fix a sink and a painter to paint the...
Just use Angie's List.
Doesn't that cost money?
Not at all. It's free to find pros in your area who can do the work. You can even read ratings and reviews from other customers.
What about roofing pros?
Angie's List has pros for everything. And to save time, they'll even match you to the best pros for the job.
Oh, that's awesome. Looks like I'll be able to play after all.
Find the best pros for your next project at angieslist.com.
Hey guys, your prostate should be the last thing on your mind, but the fact is, the older you get, the more likely you'll have prostate problems, which can affect your everyday life. That's where Prostate Complete by Real Health comes in. Prostate Complete is the result of 20 years of experience as a leader in men's health. The powerful formula in Prostate Complete supports natural prostate function and reduced urinary urges for a better quality of life. Available at Walmart. Visit prostate1perday.com for special offers. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Pedro Fernandez here. You might know me as the host of Ring Talk Live Worldwide, but this time I'm here to talk about that four-letter word everybody dreads, pain. If you have back pain or knee pain like I do, hey, you should know about the Health Alert Hotline. I'm talking about if Medicare is your primary medical insurance, and guess what? You can qualify for a back or knee brace or a shoulder brace for little or no charge. Anything to help me with the pain hey, it makes it more manageable, gets my attention, folks. I love the free delivery, and they take care of the paperwork for you. So if you have Medicare and need help for your back, ankle, knee, or shoulder, guess what? Give the Health Alert Hotline a call, toll free, 1-800-428-1570. 1-800-428-1570. You can qualify for a back or knee brace or a shoulder brace for little or no charge. 1-800-428-1570. The Health Alert Hotline, 1-800-428-1570.
If you are age 85 or younger, call to learn more about final expense plans from a licensed agent in the Angel Care Network. The average funeral now costs over $10,000. Are you at risk of leaving loved ones to help pay your debts? A final expense policy for seniors can pay up to $30,000 for funeral and other final expenses. You don't need a medical exam, and you can have lifetime coverage, and the policy cannot be canceled. To receive free information about final expense plans from a licensed agent in the Angel Care Network, call now. You'll also receive information about a free prescription discount card just for calling in. Agents are standing by.
Call 800-508-5774. 800-508-5774. 800-508-5774. Call now. That's 800-508-5774.
All right, welcome back to the show. This Street Soccer Sports Byline USA, SB Nation Radio, and of course, a big hello to our men and women in uniform listening around the world on the American Forces Network. I'm Nick Eber, he is Nick Webster. And with the World Cup wrapping up just a week or so ago, or maybe it's even longer now, time flies. We can now look forward to the start of the big European seasons. Of course, the transfer market is wide open, and in England, unlike previous years, it will close on the first day of the season, a change I might say I'm a big fan of. Nick, how do you feel about that change?
Yeah, I like it. I mean, let's put some pressure on these teams to make decisions before the season even starts. I've always felt that the transfer window has tended to make the market behave in strange and weird ways, especially as the deadline day approaches and all of a sudden players go for vastly inflated prices and sometimes managers make, I'd say, rash moves. So, yeah, I really like the fact that come August 14th, the squads will be settled until the window opens in January. And I think it makes the managers think a little bit clearer, and certainly gives us fans a good indication of what our squad is going to look like over the next 4 to 5 months.
Yeah, Nick, the way I see it, actually, I agree with everything you've said there, unfortunately. But the other intangible parts of this are that I think by closing the window at the beginning of the season, you're actually taking away an advantage that the big money teams have had, which means they've typically been in a position where they can see the moves they've made in the offseason and they can catch in the first few weeks of the season whether they're working or not. And if they're not working, they can go and reacquire other players that might have been on their maybe I'll buy him list and they didn't get to it and that player didn't get sold. We've seen this year over year, and they can pay ridiculous amounts of money for them. And that really benefits the top 6 or 7 teams in the league at the expense of all the other teams. I think by slamming the window shut at the beginning of the season, as you said, Nick, locking in those squads, I think it does even the playing field across all 20 teams in the Premier League. That's another reason why I really like it.
Well, what I'm also hoping, and this is a big hope and probably won't come to fruition, but by locking the window, I'm hoping that it's going to give actually homeborn players more of a chance to maybe make an impact. Because as you just rightly mentioned, you know, when we went to the end of August and you've lost your first 3 league games, I think managers, the first thing they would do was hit the panic button and look abroad immediately for, you know, X player. And now, because they're locked in, instead of having to look abroad, perhaps they're going to look within the youth systems of their clubs and perhaps find a nugget or two. And we've just been talking for the last 6 weeks about how we've seen youth triumph really at the World Cup. Perhaps that message is going to filter down to some Premiership managers. Obviously, we know that the pressure is on really from day one, but you never know. Perhaps they're going to look at some of their youth teams and say, let's give this young lad a chance.
Well, Nick, let's talk about giving young lads a chance. One team that has gone abroad and has spent big money in this off-season, about £170 million so far by my estimation, and I'll get the exact number for you here as we go along, is Liverpool Football Club. Obviously, the team I support. I know, Nick, you're not a fan, and that's always good because we're not going to become Liverpool radio. But you have to look at their signings, Nick, and ask the big question, is anything short of a Premier League title going to be considered failure after spending £163 million so far in the off-season?
Well, the last time Liverpool made a sustained push for the title, of course, the famous Steven Gerrard slip under the Brendan Rodgers management, and that was the year that Suarez was just completely out of control, couldn't stop scoring goals, and was no doubt the player of the season. Yeah, I actually think that Liverpool will challenge all the way this year. Keita is a fantastic buy. And although they've smashed the world record for goalkeepers, I think that record was long overdue to be smashed.
Yeah.
And I actually think he's a really good keeper as well. This is, I believe this, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is Klopp's fourth season. He had 2.5. This is his fourth season. So really it's his third season of his team, his methods. And I actually think that Liverpool now defensively, they've got things kind of sorted out. They've got rid of Karius. They brought in, big Virgil. Robertson was the find of the season. Alexander-Arnold. I mean, all the pieces are there now for Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool to go for the title. And, I can't really look further than City. But if I had a second favourite, I think I'm going to throw up. My second favourite's Liverpool.
Yeah, that is shocking for you, Nick Webster, to hear you say that. I agree, though, but I think that it is going to be considered a failure if they don't win the league. Now, Manchester City,
I think you have to dial it back a little bit, Nick. I think it would be a failure if they didn't win silverware.
Okay, fair enough, if they didn't win silverware. But on the other side of it is, Manchester City, is it a failure for them if they don't win the Champions League?
Well, I would have to say yes, it is, because if we look at what Pep Guardiola's achieved over his managerial career, he goes into clubs, he wins them the league immediately. He did that with Barcelona. He did that with Bayern. He struggled his first season and a half with City. Certainly the season before last was a massive disappointment. But then last season shattered every record that was available to be shattered. So the next target, not only for Guardiola, but I think for the owners themselves, and that's one of the things that you have to take into account. The owners want to win the Champions League, and I think that's going to have to become priority number one. So should Liverpool and City find themselves in some kind of neck-and-neck race and City stub their toe, I think that Guardiola would then start putting his resources in towards the Champions League should they still be in the tournament, which there's no reason why they shouldn't be. So, almost advantage Liverpool in that case.
What's interesting, Nick, is if I look at the Champions League futures, Man City are the favourites right now, 5.5 to 1. It's a pretty good bet. In fact, all of these bets are pretty nice right now. You can get Real Madrid at 7 to 1, Juventus at 6.5 to 1, and I don't think that's a bad bet either. Barcelona at 6 to 1, and Manchester City at 5.5 to 1. Liverpool are 12.5 to 1 to win the Champions League. PSG and Bayern just a little bit less. I would say every one of those is a decent little value bet to make, Nick, because of the numbers that you're getting, because of the future situations that are all in the plus money right now.
Well, yes, of course, because the draw hasn't been made, so we don't know who's going to be in their particular side, how it could all play out, how they could meet one another. So, yeah, I mean, these odds are a little bit further away. But just going back to the Liverpool thing for 1 second, Nick, I would say that it would be in Liverpool's best interests to get knocked out of the Champions League very early and to concentrate solely on the Premier League, because This, I honestly think, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, but from the Liverpool fans and personnel I've spoken to, the league is far more important than the Champions League.
I think right now the league is far more important than the Champions League. Look, in the last 15 years, Liverpool have won the Champions League and they've been to 2 finals, Nick. You know, their European success has been pretty good. They've been to a final of the UEFA Cup as well. So yeah, the silverware has maybe been elusive, but they've made it very, very deep in these tournaments, all the way to the finals. What they haven't done is won the league, and for a team that was a perennial First Division winner when the old First Division was the top flight, they are looking to get back to the top and to start to whittle away at the Manchester United title number so that they can shove it back in the face of United fans, 20 years from now, to winning 19 of the titles. All right, Nick Webster with you. This is Fifth Street Soccer. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back after this. Don't go anywhere. Right here on the Sports Byline USA Radio Network. We will be back. By the way, Facebook, facebook.com/Fifth Street Sports Talk. Twitter @Fifth Street Sports. Website, fifthstreetsports.com. You get it. If you want to give us a call in studio, you have something to say, 800-878-PLAY, 800-878-PLAY. When we come back, Trevor Noah and why he's a fool.
Not too long ago, it felt good to withdraw your cash from the bank, didn't it? For a vacation or a new car. But today, withdrawing your own cash has become risky. Pat Boone here for Swiss America. According to The Secret War, a new Swiss America white paper, I learned that all banks are now required to spy on you and me for the government, and then report any financial behavior deemed suspicious or unusual. You must read The Secret War. It's free. Truth is, I believe the government's new war against cash is really a war against us all. But the secret is now out. So please, get and read The Secret War.
Pick up your phone and call right now. 800-932-5517. 800-932-5517. 800-932-5517. Once again, that's 800-932-5517.
If you or a loved one is suffering from a physical or emotional condition that has left you unable to work, then listen carefully. Take this number down, 800-593-7491. That's 800-593-7491. When you call, you'll speak with a Social Security disability expert and get a free evaluation to see if you may qualify for disability insurance benefits from the U.S. government. That's right, a monthly cash payment paid directly to you from the Social Security Administration. Whether you're applying for the first time or you've already been denied disability benefits, call now. The disability attorneys at Pinnacle Disability can help you build your case, file an appeal, and represent you at no upfront cost to you. Don't wait another minute to see if you may qualify for your Social Security disability benefits. Call Pinnacle Disability Group at 800-593-7491 for your free case evaluation. That's 800-593-7491. 800-593-7491. Call now.
If you or someone you love suffers from drug addiction, now is the time to utilize your private health insurance PPO plan. If eligible, receive up to $30,000 or more in substance abuse benefits with low or no out-of-pocket cost. We are the National Treatment Network, the premier drug and alcohol treatment referral service operating 24/7. We help connect you with facilities nationwide that accepts PPO private health insurance for substance abuse. If you have PPO substance abuse coverage and you need immediate admittance to a medical detox or residential rehab treatment center, call us now. Call our live referral helpline today. The call is free. This program is not available to Medicare or Medicaid customers.
Call 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. That's 800-296-1252.
All right, folks, welcome back. Fifth Street Soccer, Sports Byline USA, Nick Webster. Look, I'll put it out there. Politically, I'm I'm a little bit on the left side. I'm not a far left loony, but I'm probably I lean towards the left as opposed to the right. But I do have the ability to see other people's positions and thoughts and concepts. But the one thing that drives me crazy, wherever you fall on the political spectrum, is hypocrisy. And there's no one more hypocritical right now than Trevor Noah, who I believe is on Comedy Central. Isn't that correct? Yeah. He has a show on Comedy Central. When the World Cup was over and the French team won, he sent out a tweet that said he would like to congratulate Africa on their winning of the World Cup. Now, we've talked about this. We've discussed this over the last few days, Nick Webster, about how this is one of the ways that people are coping with this sort of upset in the World Cup. Although, why France winning is an upset is beyond me. You really have to not know anything about football. We had them to win early on. But the hypocrisy here is that when the French turn around, including men, by the way, only 2 members of this French team were not born in France. Every one of those players was born in France, bar 2 of them. And yes, they have heritage from Cameroon and Ghana and, all over the world. Zinedine Zidane had heritage that went to Algeria. But that doesn't make him not French. The French don't hyphenate. The French don't have African/Frenchmen. And as my producer here pointed out, there is a far-right element in France that doesn't see immigrant families and immigrant Frenchmen as Frenchmen, but they're far-right lunatics in all countries, unfortunately. The fact that Trevor Noah, a, quote, liberal, would say this is, in fact, racism. Because did he stand up when the Golden State Warriors won and say, congratulations, Africa, on winning the NBA championship? Did he stand up when the Philadelphia Eagles go and said, hey, congratulations to Africa for winning the Super Bowl? No, he didn't. Did he say, I'd like to congratulate Kenya for having a president of the United States? No, that's what the loony right was saying. The hypocrisy is rank. It stinks. I hate it. Nick, what are your thoughts?
Well, as has been well documented, Nick, politics and football never really mix. And I think you're proving that point quite superbly. But I actually do have a problem with Trevor Noah. And what I don't understand is, the lad's from South Africa. He was raised in Johannesburg. He's come to the land of the free. His father was white. His mother was black. His mother actually went to jail because interracial marriages weren't allowed in South Africa pre-1985 when he was born. I don't even understand why he's getting on his high horse over this matter. It's not funny, and you're meant to be a comedian. Tell us a joke, but shut up about football teams and where players come from. As we said yesterday, I believe, or what day is it now? Yes, it's Friday. Wednesday, if your passport says your nationality, that's who you are. I don't give a rat's about where your lineage has come from. You are there representing the shirt. And from what I saw, and yes, I wasn't on the pitch and I wasn't in the scrums of the delirious French players, but white, black, pink, blue, yellow, these players love one another and they love playing for their country.
Yeah, absolutely.
End of story.
Nick. End of story, Nick. And I just look, first of all, obviously he's trying to make a political statement about it, a political statement that unfortunately looks bad here, I think, especially given this sort of crazy right-wing discussions about where our former president was from and mixing heritage with citizenship and allegiances and all of this. It's just crazy stuff. But the fact of the matter is, he got into a spat with the French ambassador about this and sent out a tweet of a list of all the players on the French team with a flag of their nationality next to it. One of the French players, it was either Mendy or Matuidi, I don't remember who it was, responded with that same tweet with a French flag next to the name of every one of the French players. And that comes from them. That is the end of the story. But is this, Nick, about racism? Is this about political, trying to get a political point across? Or, Nick, is this just another way of coping with what is considered a big upset in the World Cup?
You know, I've been lucky enough to be live in America for the last 30 years, and I've been lucky enough to travel the world. And I have been in South Africa that did have an apartheid system, and I've still got to say that America, unfortunately, is holding on to some racial and racist ideas far, far longer than it really should. To your point about American sports and saying, you know, congratulations Africa for NBA triumphs. I mean, you're absolutely spot on. You know, football pundits should stick to football, and we shouldn't work with politics. Comedians should do what they're doing best, make people laugh. We are in perhaps one of the most divisive periods of our time, not only here in America, but probably worldwide. If we can't celebrate different colors coming together to achieve the hardest thing to do in sports, and that is win a World Cup, then where are we going? What are we doing, Nick?
Yeah, I agree, Nick. It's not right, and I would like to congratulate the French team, which is full of Frenchmen who all come from different parts of the world in terms of their heritage, and they all have different colors of their skin. But I would like to congratulate the team from France for winning the World Cup. And by the way, every single team, basically, maybe with a couple of exceptions, had players that were either clearly not from that country, or they had Islamic and Muslim players. They have, I mean, you know, look, we are a global melting pot. Where your family comes from, what you choose, how you choose to pray to your God if you believe in one, is entirely up to you, but it doesn't mean that you're not a Frenchman, or that you're not an Englishman, or that you're not a Argentinian, or a German, or a whoever. It's time that we stopped it. Football is football. People are people. Citizenship is citizenship. And I can't wait for this political nonsense to boil over so that we can get over this and move on with the part of living our life which allows us to enjoy sports for the purity that is sports. Nick, let's put a line through this topic and hope we don't have to come back to it. Let's talk briefly, if we can, about something that's been going on a little bit around the United States, these money-spinning friendlies. We've got about 5 minutes. It's enough to talk about this, Nick, because, you know, I, for one, and by the way, I am involved in putting a friendly together next week in Denver between Boca Juniors and the Colorado Rapids. So I want to put that out there before I start spouting off here. That's a different sort of thing. This team is in preseason. They're looking for some training. If you want to go see this match and you look at the ticket prices, they're very reasonable. You can find them online. You should go check it out. What I don't understand are people that are shelling out $200, $300, $400, $500 to see Manchester United play Club America in Phoenix. Was what, 110 degrees, albeit the stadium was air conditioned. You're seeing a Manchester United squad that you know is depleted, that you know all their World Cup stars are still on holiday. Here's the good news, though. They only sold half the tickets to this tournament, to this game. And I ask you, Nick, and maybe we will pick this up on the other side, is the American footballing public finally getting smarter and finally getting more selective about the crap that's being rammed down their throat for top dollar?
Well, I think proper football people are, because as we've seen, the ratings have been rising gradually, slowly but surely, for Premier League, for Champions League. And I think soccer aficionados are understanding what good football, soccer looks like. I think America's still a massive country with 350 million people. There's still a lot of newbies to the game that are easily seduced by the brands, let's call them the brands of Manchester United, Real Madrid, Barcelona, that get fleeced. And because they are newbies, they don't even know what good football looks like or intense football looks like. And so they go to the stadiums, they're part of the crowd, they feel like they are been part of the soccer community. So unfortunately, I still feel like these friendlies will sell well. Yes, you did note that it was 50% full, but they probably still made money on that. And that's going to continue until more of the audience gets a little bit more educated, because I know that, if you didn't have to go to your game, you wouldn't go. I will certainly not be forking over any money. And my son is gagging to go to the Rose Bowl for the Tottenham game.
Right.
The cheapest tickets is $100, Nick.
Nick,
I'm
it's
not
robbery.
paying $250. I'm not paying $250 to watch a reserve game.
All right, when we come back, we're going to tell you what you can do and what you should do right here. Fifth Street Soccer on the Sports Byline USA, SB Nation Radio Networks. We're also going to tell you who we like for early betting in terms of futures for the Premier League, for Serie A, for La Liga, for the Champions League. Some good discussions ahead, folks, so be sure you don't go anywhere. Stay with us right here. Nick Geber and Nick Webster. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Fifth Street Sports Talk. You can find us on Twitter at Fifth Street Sports. And of course, always, the good old reliable World Wide Web, www.fifthstreetsports.com. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back in 3 minutes.
Hey, travelers, do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call, because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. Our prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first class tickets.
855-325-1780. 855-325-1780. That's 855-325-1780.
Do you have Medicare and do you use a CPAP machine? This is a national healthcare alert regarding your CPAP supplies. Using a clean CPAP mask and clean supplies is important to staying healthy. The best way to make sure your CPAP equipment is clean is to get new supplies. If you have Medicare, we have great news. Medicare will pay for you to have new clean supplies every 90 days. We'll even do all the paperwork for you to make sure that there's little to no out-of-pocket cost to you. And you don't even have to leave your home. We provide free in-home delivery. So if you're a CPAP user and you have Medicare, staying healthy with new CPAP equipment is easy. Just make this free phone call right now to get started.
Call the CPAP hotline now. 800-430-4234. 800-430-4234. That's 800-430-4234. Copays and deductibles apply. Supplies are replaced in accordance with Medicare guidelines.
Want to fly somewhere? Looking for cheap flights or cheap tickets? Then call. That's right. Call the low-cost airline travel hotline now for prices so low we can't publish them anywhere. Low-cost airlines has all kinds of cheap travel deals. Fly domestically and save up to 75%. You can even fly internationally and save even more. Yes, fly anywhere in the world and save a lot of money on your plane tickets. We'll even save you money with cheap travel deals on hotels, rental cars, even complete travel packages. So don't book your tickets until you call us first for the absolute cheapest prices on U.S. and international airline tickets and hotels. Call right now for prices so low they can't be published. Travel experts are here 24/7 to help.
800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. That's 800-754-4531.
All right, well, one of the things that as Americans, and I know I don't sound maybe American, but I've been in this country a long time, we like to think of is that everything we do, everything we have, everything we create here in this great land of ours is the best. We have the best this, the best that, the biggest hamburgers, the best banking system, the best basketball league in the world, the best American football league in the world, out of 2 apparently, the best hockey league in the world, the best Olympic team, the best extreme sports, BMXers and skateboarders and all of this stuff. And by the way, a lot of that is true. A lot of that we do have the best of the best. But where we don't have the best of the best is in soccer. As a result of that, we sort of have this national yearning, this national need to somehow either justify that what we do have is a lot better than what it is, and number 2, embrace even the sniff of what could be the best of the best and throw lots of money at it. And this is a mistake. Number 1, let's deal with these 2 issues. By the way, Nick Geber, Nick Webster. Webster, I'm trying to stop myself from going on a rant here. But Major League Soccer is a league that's been around 20 plus years. It's cost untold gazillions of dollars for the people that took the chance to build this league. And it's imperfect. The quality of play is meh, to use an American expression. Sometimes it's decent, sometimes it's not, sometimes it's great, sometimes it's not. I mean, it's just the way it is. But it's a growing league, 20 years in. We don't have relegation and promotion. We won't have it. Would it make things great? Sure. Is it a realistic goal to achieve? No. Are you telling me Phil Anschutz and all of these other guys out there, the Hunts and the Anschutz and the other big money guys out around in the Major League Soccer, are going to somehow sign off on a plan that will likely get one of their teams relegated to USL and their awful streaming video during their games? Not a chance. So give it up. Don't worry, though. If you can accept the fact that there are better leagues elsewhere, that there's incredible football elsewhere, then you can enjoy the coverage of the Premier League on whatever network's making a hash of it during their time to have it during their rights period. But at some point, you've got to stop wanting to have what you can't have right now, and you've got to enjoy where it is. And if you're going to drop $500, $600, $800 to take your family to see a third-string Manchester United team play Club America, or Liverpool play, who are they playing? Borussia Dortmund, I think, whoever they're playing. You're better off taking your family to Europe and seeing it in person, in the stadium, for the real deal. Nick?
Yes, it's fascinating being here in America, and we've been lucky enough, Nick, really, to be here during the explosion. I mean, we both got our breaks in the late 90s, where all of a sudden the English Premier League came in vogue, and it was on network TV, and then the Champions League with ESPN, and of course the World Cup that was here in 94. So we've seen the growth. We've seen how the game's developing, not only professionally, but certainly from the youth side as well. I know, both your sons have played soccer collegiately, and I take my hat off to you for creating that environment for your kids. MLS is a tough watch, and it only changes when the playoffs come around. The last 6 weeks of the regular season, where teams all of a sudden realize that they've got to get their fingers out and qualify for the playoffs and bring some momentum into that part of the postseason. And that's when US soccer gets really good, and I actually really enjoy it. So somehow we've got to figure out, and I think some of it is down to this calendar that we've gone over and over and over again, and obviously it's never going to change, but the calendar has a lot to do with it. The transfer windows have a lot to do with it. I mean, if you think that the MLS was actually playing, Nick, during the World Cup, which is mind-boggling. Every other league in the world is shut down. Now, you're right about the owners. They're never going to acquiesce to having promotion and relegation, but we've got to find some other ways to incentivize these teams, which means that the players then get motivated and they become better. and we've seen a lot of foreign players entering MLS. But I think for the sport to really make the next step, and I know you and I have spoken about this, but America needs to develop their own superstar.
Yeah.
America needs to have a top 5 player in the world. And when that happens, we will really see an explosion in soccer in this country.
Yeah, no, that is all absolutely true, Nick. I mean, I have been talking about this for 20 years on the air. I mean, and then we went all the way back to, Freddie Adu, and by the way, from Ghana. But is he from Ghana or is he an American? He's an American. We'll go back to the last segment on that another time. Look, Major League Soccer is a developing and growing league. I don't happen to love it. That's just me. But that doesn't mean that you can't love it. That doesn't mean that you can't support your local Major League Soccer team with as much passion and as much vigor and as much verve as I support my team. You don't have to support it the same way. The atmosphere in a Major League Soccer stadium, in general, and there are exceptions, I can think of a few off the top of my head, but there are exceptions, is not tribal, is not filled with as much stress and angst and energy, some of it negative, I might add, to be honest with you, that you'll get in stadiums in Europe. But it's different. Apples and oranges. Our own American flavor to soccer versus a European flavor. What upsets me is, I see this all the time. Fans that are fairly new to the game, man, they want to be a part of that supporters culture. They want to sit, and they want to stand, and they want to blow flares off, and they want to sing ribald songs and bang drums and do all this sorts of stuff. And occasionally you'll see like 3 of them sitting in a corner doing it because no one else is interested in supporting their team that way. So just whatever way you want to support your team, but get out and support it, and don't try to think that what you're seeing, don't feel any less of a person because what you're seeing isn't the best in the world. Stop trying to be what you can't be right now. These European teams have been around for nearly 150, 60 years in some cases, starting as athletic clubs and growing onwards from there. So it's just a developmental process. And really, where am I going with this? Where I'm going with this is this. So you have to be able to look at these different levels of football and say, here's MLS, it's my league, I enjoy it. I love to watch the Premier League because my team is Tottenham or Liverpool or Man United or Wolverhampton Wanderers or whoever it may be, whichever team you've adopted, and follow them. But for God's sake, don't shell out thousands of dollars on a phony product, on some fifth string team that's being put out, albeit in the uniform of your team in the Premier League, and you're going to pay first-tier, first-rate prices on it. Seriously, there are some airlines right now that you can fly to Europe for next to nothing. Get on them, go over, and go see the game in person. Go breathe in and live that tribal culture for at least 1 or 2 matches in your life. Do yourself a favor. You'll love yourself for it.
No, you're very right. There's nothing beats the real thing. And, we talk about plastic fans, and quite a derogatory term for someone who claims to love their club. But you're right. By going to these games and being, I wouldn't say fooled, but blinded to the fact that you're not seeing the real deal. Look, the ICC has to sell these games somehow. They have to promote them because I know Charlie Stilietano's paying a lot of money for these clubs to come over, and everybody wants to make a profit. But they're glorified practice matches. If you want to see tricks and people play, go down and support your local USL team. They would really appreciate that money, and you're going to see a better, more intense game of football at the USL than you will last night at Manchester United Club America. I mean, Jose Mourinho said after the game, this was a great training exercise. A training exercise!
That you paid for. Hundreds of dollars.
But you paid massive amounts of money to watch a training exercise. Listen, folks, if you want to watch someone kick a ball around, come over my house. I'll juggle a few times. We'll have a couple of beers. We'll talk football. You can pay me $500. I'm guaranteeing you'll have a better time.
And Nick, you'll do it wearing the kit of the team that you support. So I could say, Nick, I want wear Sheffield United kit for me and juggle the ball. Here's 500 quid.
Yeah. Done deal.
We got a business, Nick. All right, let's quickly look at some futures, and we're going to get into this more next week. But England right now, mentioned it, very interesting. Manchester City minus 150. They are the favourites. Liverpool, the runners-up in the favourite capacity.
Minus 150, though. Minus 150 before the season has even started is incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, what do the bookies know that we don't know?
I don't know, but what about 4.5 to 1 for Liverpool to win?
Well, I think that's not a bad bet, actually. But still, yay. I can't believe that City are that much of a favourite to repeat. I mean, the Premier League is the hardest league to win in world football. You only have to stub your toe a couple of times, and you're in big trouble.
And I tell you what, Tom Jones is putting a lot of money on Cardiff at plus 200,000.
Yeah.
That's 20,000 to 1.
Well, you notice they're not 5,000 to 1 anymore. The bookies aren't stupid after getting burned by Leicester City.
Yeah, that's for sure. Some good bets there. We're going to get to these in detail, folks, but just not today. I'm just kind of running over. We talked about how in Italy, Juventus were by far the runaway favourites there, with Napoli coming up close behind in second place. But you talk about favourites again. Juventus minus 240, Nick. Napoli plus 650.
Yeah, I mean
that's a big swing.
That's like City. I mean it's bananas.
It's bananas. In Spain, slightly more interesting for the first time ever. Barcelona minus 138. Real Madrid plus 130. Less turmoil at Barca, but we have to see who Madrid bring in, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, the manager is the former Spanish manager who bailed out 2 days before the World Cup, so not sure about his loyalty. And of course, CR7 has moved over to Juventus. I think you're right. I mean, if they make the big move and bring in Neymar, does that change the equation?
Although he says he's not going. He says he's not going.
Real Madrid. So then Gareth Bale is the man at Real Madrid now.
Yeah.
Is he ready to take on that mantle?
We'll have to wait and see. One last one very quickly, and then we have to go to break. In the Bundesliga, no bets there to be had, folks. Bayern Munich minus 800. The next is Borussia Dortmund at plus 650. What a snooze fest from a betting perspective. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be back to wrap it up here on Fifth Street Soccer. Hope you enjoyed the show today, by the way, guys. And listen, we're not against political discussions here on this show as it relates to football. But everything you do, everything you say, you have to try to balance it. Try to think of all sides of the coin, both sides of the coin. Because if there's a coin with more than two sides, it's not a coin, right? It's a triangle? I don't know. Anyway, it's a pyramid. All right, we'll be right back after this. Fifth Street Soccer. I'm just babbling. I'm Nick Geber. He's Nick Webster. We'll be right back.
Rebuild or replace transmission, $3,200. Anti-lock brake system, $1,000. Rebuild or replace engine, $2,400. Truth is, once your manufacturer's warranty runs out, it's all on you. Every last cent. Get protection for covered repairs with a vehicle service contract from Toco Warranty. Unlike other companies, with Toco, there's no down payment, and the monthly payments are really affordable. Not sure how long you're keeping your car? At Toco, you can pay as you go. Keep your hard-earned cash and call Toco Warranty right now at 800-222-2313 to save big money on covered auto repairs. Prices vary by vehicle, but for about the cost of a tank of gas per month, a Toco plan has your back on expensive covered car repairs. Monthly payments are very affordable. Get your free quote now. Call Toco at 800-222-2313. That's 800-222-2313. 800-222-2313. Cancellation fee may apply. Subject to eligibility. Not available in Missouri and Washington. Waiting period and deductible apply. Coverage provided and administered by Warrantech Corporation or its affiliates. Not affiliated with any manufacturer or dealership. Visit TocoWarranty.com for complete terms and conditions.
Hi, I'm Dr. Robert Clapper, Chief of Orthopedic Surgery at Cedars-Sinai Medical Group in Los Angeles, California. dedicated to your health, your life, and your sports. As a weekend warrior, you know about sports injuries and pain. Exercise is an important element in keeping your body's core in good shape to minimize sports injuries. But when you are in pain, there is one product that I recommend to my patients, and that is Blue Goo Gel. Blue Goo consists of a proprietary formula developed specifically for the treatment of inflammation and general muscle aches and strains. I recommend Blue Goo for my patients coping with hip and knee pain before surgery, especially bursitis and tendinitis. Give Blue Goo a try. Call 1-888-330-0123 and you'll receive a 1-week supply of Blue Goo absolutely free. The makers of Blue Goo are even paying the shipping. The number again is 1-888-330-0123. If you want more information on Blue Goo, visit online at www.dothegoo.com.
Now available at select Big 5 stores near you.
Are you an inventor who would like to try to have an invention or idea patented and submitted to companies? But you don't know what to do next? Call for free information from InventHelp. InventHelp, a leading inventor service company, has been helping inventors since 1984 and has sales offices located in more than 60 cities nationwide. You'll want to talk to the company that has helped secure more than 7,000 invention patents. So call InventHelp. Even if you have an idea for improving an existing product and don't know where to go with it, you'll still want to call InventHelp for free information. You'll find out how InventHelp may assist you in trying to patent your invention and submit it to companies. So call now.
Call InventHelp at 1-800-316-1738. That's 1-800-316-1738. Get your free information by dialing 1-800-316-1738. That's 1-800-316-1738. 1-800-316-1738.
Well, we'd like to thank everyone that's participating on the show. Our YouTube chat's getting quite active. Nick Marquez has some great ideas. He says, if you polled all 20 EPL teams, how many would rather win the Premier League than the Champions League if they had to choose one or the other? I think if you were to poll Manchester City, they would rather win the Champions League. I think if you were to poll Manchester United, they'd rather win the Champions League. Nick, would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think I would. I mean, the Champions League certainly has more sex appeal worldwide, but I always liked, Shankly and Ferguson and what they said about winning a title in England, and it is the hallmark of a great team. You've been the best team throughout an entire season, and knockout football, as exciting as it is, you can have an off day, and all of a sudden you're out of the tournament. And the league is the league. It will always be the marker of greatness.
All right, a couple other comments very quickly. Billy Donlan, hey, we love you too, Billy Donlan. Nick also says they can change the MLS calendar, and I do agree. By the way, I'd like to thank everybody for participating on the show. It works best when you do participate, and you can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Fifth Street Sports Talk, and you can also find us on YouTube, youtube.com/Fifth Street Sports. I think you get the idea where we're going with this. That's going to wrap the show, guys. Been a pleasure. We'll be back with you next week, and a big interview next week. Stay tuned for more information, and come to our website, Fifth Street Sports, facebook.com/Fifth Street Sports and fifthstreetsports.com. For me, Nick Eber, my co-host Nick Webster, we wish you a great weekend.